All right, this video is going to cover how to make a list on the TI-84 along with find summary statistics of that list and make different graphical displays. All right, so let's go ahead and turn it on. All right, I was just clear on that. So first thing, let's just make sure there's nothing in here that's going to mess us up when we go to graph these. So hit the Y equals button in the top left. If there's anything in there, just clear them out. All right, I'm going to hit second. And then right next to second, you can see above it, it says quit. That brings me back to the home screen. All right, now, second row from the top, middle button, there's this button that says stat. We're going to hit that. I'm going to hit enter on that top item there. It says edit. Okay, and that brings us up our list. So they're all empty here. If there was anything in it, let's say we have these numbers in it and I wanted to clear it, I'm going to highlight L1, the actual title of the list. I'm going to hit the clear button, and I'm going to hit the down arrow, and it erases them all in one shot. All right, now the most common way to have an error doing this is that when we start to put in numbers, instead of being here on that blank line there, you try to put them in on the actual title. So we want to make sure we're not highlighting the title for list 1, L1. We're going to go right underneath it to that blank line there. And I'm looking at the ditto in your packet called Unit 1 Calculator Instructions. In that ditto, it has a table of 40 values. It's separated into 2 columns, but we're going to put all of them into this list here. So first one is 69.7. After that, we have 66.5. And we're going to go down, 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 down until we fill them all out. All right, so pause the video, do that. I have it set up already, so you don't have to watch me do all that. All right, so if we went to the bottom of this, okay, you'll see that we're on the 40th value is the last one. You can see the 40 inside the parentheses there. Okay, item 41 here is empty. All right, so that's how we make a list. Now, there'll be times when we want to find summary statistics like mean, median, standard deviation. We know how to find the mean, but for a list that's 40 entries long, that would be pretty tedious. So instead, we're going to let the calculator do it for us. So we're going to hit that stat button again, right here. Okay, and instead of hitting enter and edit, we're going to go over to the right. So we're in that calc submenu. Okay, the top item in this is 1 var stats for 1 variable stats. We want to hit enter on that. All right, regardless of what it says, hit clear. I'm just going to show you how to put the lists in here. All right, so the only thing we're going to fill in on this menu here is list. So to put in list 1, which is where all our data is, we're going to hit the second button, and then we're going to hit the number 1. Okay, and when we do that, you'll see list 1 pop up there. Now, if we wanted to run this on list 3, like let's say we have a couple different lists, second 3, we'll put in list 3. All right, so each number corresponds to the list in that list editor. So second 1 puts in list 1. We go down to calculate. All right, and when we run that, it gives us everything that we need. We can see X bar on the top here. That's the average of our list, 68.3675. A few below that, SX, that's the standard deviation of all the numbers in our list. And then if we hit the down arrow a few times, we can get to all this other information. So sample size, there's 40 numbers in the list. You can see it gives us the minimum, the maximum, the quartile. So here we have our 5-number summary. All right, we don't have to find quartiles on our own pretty much ever. Same thing with mean and standard deviation. We always just want to make a list, let the calculator do it by doing 1 variable stats. And then if we made a mistake anywhere, it's just about going back to this list and kind of tracing through and make sure, oh, we didn't put this one in as like 680 instead of 68. All right, so again, stat, over to calc, enter. Okay, that's how we get those summary statistics. Now, if we wanted to make a graphical display of this, all right, we're going to hit the second button, and then the Y equals button. You see above that it says stat plot. All right, now we want to see off on all of these, at least to start. So let's go down and hit enter on number 4, and that's just going to make sure all our plots are off. All right, So I went back into that, so second y equals gets us back into stat plot. Right, and I'm going to enter on this top one. Okay, so plot 1. All right, let's turn plot 1 on. So we're going to hit enter on. Next, it's saying what type of display do we want to make. Okay, and let's do a histogram first. So I'm going to go over to the right until I get to histogram. I'm going to hit enter. This probably says L1 already for you, but if it doesn't, if it says anything other than L1, just clear it out, and then we put it in just like we did with one variable stat. So second button and then the 1 key. All right, hit enter. All right, now this sets up the plot. To actually see the graph that it makes, we have this graph button in the top right. Okay, now when you press it, a lot of times you're going to see this. You're going to see nothing. And that's because we're zoomed out too much. So we want to zoom into our data. So top middle button is our zoom button right here. We're going to press that. And then we're going to scroll down to number 9. Okay, we also can just hit number 9 where it says zoom stat. Hit enter on that. That zooms into the data, and you can see we've made a histogram. All right, we can see that this distribution is approximately symmetric. All right, if we hit the trace button, it tells us like what each bin goes to. So that one goes from 63 to 64.68. There's 3 in that bin. If we go over, okay, same thing, 64.68 to 66.3. There's 8 of them in there. And we can change the width of those, but we're not going to worry about that right now. All right, let's go back into stat plot. So second y equals. Let's go back into plot 1. All right, and let's change the type. So we have scatter plot, connected scatter plot, like a line plot. All right, we really, occasionally we'll make scatter plots in the next chapter. We never really make that one. Down here is a normal probability plot, which we're not going to make today. So let's stick to the box plots here. All right, and there's 2 different types. There's the modified box plot. You can see the little 2 dots on the right of this one. That means it's going to show us outliers. Our regular box plot, that one in the middle there, won't show us outliers. So let's do a modified box plot. It'll tell us, are there any outliers here? So enter. Okay, how do we want our outliers noted? So we'll just keep it as that. I'm going to hit graph. All right, if you don't like how it looks, you can always just hit zoom and then the 9 key. It'll give you an image based on where all your data is. All right, so that's our box plot. And again, that shows us it's approximately symmetric because those whiskers are the same size and that median's right in the middle of the box there.